Hi, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to A New Leadership Playbook. We're talking about posture shifting right now. And today, that's what our conversation will be about. I'm Keshawn Hughes. I own Neurosavvy
And
Leadership. I'm a neuro coach. And joining me, as always, Natalie Jobity. Would you like to introduce yourself and say more, Natalie?
yes, for some reason, I'm seeing a delay, and it always distracts me when I see that happening. But yes, my name is Natalie Jobity. I'm a transformational leadership coach, and I work with seasoned executive women and founders to help them unveil their brilliance so that they could tap in more fully into their power, their purpose, and their presence, so their
Mm,
impact income are multiplied. And I just want to say a little bit more about what unveil your brilliance means. And it's all about, brilliance is one of my terms, one of my keywords. And to me, it means all our expertise, our talents, our gifts, our strengths, and what all the things we bring to the table that a lot of times we underutilize or diminish. And so it's like elevating those things, putting them outward, letting them shine, so
yes.
that we can really make the impact we're meant to have and be divinely designed to have. And so, like, to really know who we're meant to be, how we're meant to lead, and what makes us different and distinct. That is the heart of my work, and I'm passionate about it.
Uh, I am too. I'm passionate about your work. I'm passionate about the work we do together at Neurosavvy Leadership. Like I said, I'm a certified neuro coach and neuro leadership consultant and trainer. And so, what we do is we work with individuals and organizations to help build inclusive leaders, inclusive cultures. So, ones that are focused on employee well being and health and burnout recovery and prevention and inclusion and belonging and helping leaders.
Mhm.
A lot of the work that I do, particularly the one-on-one coaching work that I do, is to help people feel more confident,
Mm,
communicate in a way that influences positively. And
mhm.
so I'm delighted about the work that I'm doing once again as well, and the work we're doing together, particularly through this series, because every time we
Yes.
get together, we have these ideas come up. They beget the next topic the next time we come together, and we are just playing, but also learning, growing, and sharing. And we're doing it in community collectively, which is just the most enlivening experience that I've had.
Yes, but
Yeah.
for the both of us, it's so
Yes.
enlivening for both of our personalities and our wiring. And,
Mm,
that's one of the things. Kishan and I know our wiring, so
do.
we know what helps us even energize us, what gets us more creative, what gets us more energized, and all the things so that we can bring our best brilliance to
Mm,
to our arenas. And so this is one of the ways we do that, because we get it. We get ourselves and we get it together. We shine even brighter in this in
mhm.
this in this arena. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So I'm curious about, well, first of all, starting with the definition of what posture shift and what posture shifting is, and then how it relates to knowing your wiring. That when you just said that, I was like, ooh, that's a whole like a good little lane to like explore. But I'm curious, Natalie.
Yeah, so
Like my
so so to be clear, we Kishon and I coined this word
yes,
posture shifting. And we're gonna probably be using it more and more, so you'll be
we
hearing more
will.
about it. And
Absolutely.
it's all about the point that when we are, I see it as when we're in transition, when we're elevating, when we want to really tap into who we really are, there are shifts that are required. So we can start with the physical shift first, because I think that's the easiest one for people to understand in terms of what's the word posture mean. So when we hear the word posture, we think of our poise, our stance, our demeanor. So even just going from that very basic physical level, when you see somebody walking with a posture that conveys confidence, you have a whole different impression and interaction with them than if they walked and they were slunched over and
That's
looking
so true.
like they weren't confident, right? So
Hmm.
our physical postures not only convey a certain meaning to other people and give them perceptions of who we are, but they also help ground who we believe we are. And
Yes.
so our own level of confidence is impacted by our physical posture. And I
Yes.
want to go quickly to you, Krishan will know this, and we should probably do it just to be cute because I do it all the time.
Yes.
There's something that's actually called power posing.
Yes.
And the concept was
Breakdown.
developed by Amy Cuddy. And
Yes.
it's all about the fact that when we embody certain physical postures,
Hmm.
that we all, and you can speak more to this with the neuroscience, Kishan,
Yes.
that our brains releases hormones and endorphins that help us boost our good feelings, our confidence. And so it's something that I always recommend when I'm talking about how do you want to cultivate confidence. One of my strategies is power posing.
Yes. It's so important when we hold those poses for any length of time. It's important to just allow yourself to be in those stances. Some people for 30 seconds. I say for 90 seconds, 3 to 5 minutes.
I
If you
say
can,
2 minutes.
yes,
Yeah.
2 minutes. Yes, absolutely. Play around with it and see what works best for you as an individual or are unique. But the neuroscience of it, I think about the idea of afferent and efferent pathways. So afferent
Mm.
pathways are the neural pathways that go from our brain to our bodies, to all of our body parts. And then we have pathways that go from our body parts to our brain. There are
Mm.
more of them. And so what we do with our bodies is so important. Our brains are picking up information all the time from the environment. They're thinking about our history, how we've responded to certain environments and peoples and situations and conversations. They're thinking
Yeah.
about that, but they're picking up so much information. It's
Data.
points, yes, for us to make decisions and for us to respond in the moment, from moment to moment. So I truly, really, when I'm coaching people, I want people to understand that about their brains and
Yeah.
understand the ways their brains are working for them, or sometimes not for
Not for
them,
them.
not for them, not in alignment with the way they want to show up, the posture that they want to present, and what's in alignment with their goals. It's
Yeah.
truly important to just be in that embodiment space, to embody the posture, the signals that your body is
Yeah.
sending to your brain. And a quick hack, like, so if you're feeling down, if you're feeling not confident, if you're feeling sad, think about what your body is doing at the time and change it,
Yes.
shift
So
it.
you just said, I want to repeat it because it was so powerful how you said it.
Mm.
When when our body embodies what we, I forgot it now because I was like trying to keep it, but when our
That's why
body
I write notes.
embodies,
Listen, I already wrote, I've already started. So yes, you already know. Yes.
our
Yes.
body embodies the signals we wanted to take in. And
Mm,
so I feel like that is the
yes.
core foundation of what we're talking about with this posture
Yeah.
shifting. It starts with our physicality, and
Mhm.
what Keshawn just shared about, which I didn't even know about, how the information from our body to our brains is actually more common than the brain
Yes.
to the body,
Yes.
which says to me, like, oh my gosh, so the way we actually physically, I mean, Amy Cuddy already proved it with her research,
Yes.
but literally, not just a power posing example, but the way we walk, the way we sit, the way
Mhm.
we hold ourselves for most of the time is
Mm.
signaling things to our brain
It
that
is.
can help or hurt us.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
wow, that's the first one. So I'm going to pivot because I know we have so much time. We can spend this whole time
Okay.
talking
Yes.
about the physical,
Yes.
because I
Mhm.
can go back to my days as the image consultant and go into the whole. But I'm like, I'm not going
Mhm.
to go there right now.
Yes.
Um,
But it's in there. It's coming out. It's coming through. Absolutely.
yes,
Mhm.
that whole, like, it's back to presence, which is one of my other favorite words. Like, I used to, my tagline back in the day was presence with a purpose.
Mm.
And anyway, I'm gonna get distracted. So I'm gonna go to where I'm gonna go. So there's a physical posture element, but when we
Mhm.
look up the word posture, there's always this notion of the word posture meaning things ways we attitudes we have, perspectives we hold,
Yep.
and impressions we give off. So
Mm.
that word posture is a loaded word, and I love it because there's so much there. So we're going from the physical posture now to the mental, emotional
Internal. Yes.
posture, which
I
at the
love
heart
that.
of all of that
Mhm.
is our mindset. And
Mm.
especially, like, I in the post I was sharing about this today, I thought of, I feel like so many of my clients are either going through transition, have just been through a major transition, or are trying to elevate themselves in their leadership professional arena. That is the point. And I always, because I say, because I know it's true for me and for many people, that's the point when our self-doubt, our inner critic, our second guessing gets louder.
Mhm.
And that's the time when we really have to engage in behaviors that will drown out those negative voices, because when we are going into new areas, new territory, new landscapes, our survival instincts are telling us to be scared. It's telling
Mhm.
us that don't do that because we don't know what's out there, the fear of the unknown and all that stuff. And we've got to say, for me to get from level A to level Z, I
Yes.
have got to take some leaps of faith. I have got to
Mm.
embrace courage. I have got to believe in my resilience. I have got to, I don't know if I'm saying I've got to, I
Yes.
have to
Hmm.
shift my mindset's posture from fear to faith.
Absolutely.
Say something.
Absolutely. I'm so taken by the idea of looking at uncertainty, which our brains generally do not like. They don't like uncertainty.
Yeah.
They go into an away response, or some people describe them as threat responses when we are sensing, and these are both perceived and real threats,
Yes.
perceived and real risks and perceived and real unknowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our brain will want us to move further away from it, to put distance between ourselves and that thing, whatever that thing is. It can be a goal. So sometimes when we set goals for ourselves, we find ourselves taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. That potentially could be our mindset's posture at
Yes.
play. And so I'm curious about some practical, because this is very practical. When we first got on, before we even started this conversation,
Yes.
we talked about the practicality of posture shifting. And so I'm curious about some
Yes.
practical steps people can take, we all can take, when we are sensing and experiencing that fear, that away response, when we are having that doubt, because uncertainty and the unknown is there. And when you talked about the connection between uncertainty and faith, that's what really got me. I was like, oh, I can perceive uncertainty and certain occurrences, new beginnings, as an opportunity for faith.
Yes. To
Yes.
embrace my faith and to walk out my faith. Okay, so that's a great question, Keshawn. What are the practical implications of that part? I actually want to go back to the physical part for a minute, because
Yes.
we didn't talk about, so we talked about power posing, but I want to mention that just before this session, one of the things I have been intentionally doing again in my life, because I used to believe in it back in the day, is spending at least 5-10 minutes with some basic yoga postures.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's
It's
good.
connecting with my body. And today I added another thing I used to do, which I haven't been doing, but I'm like, I need to do this back, bring this back into my schedule. And it's
Mhm.
acupressure. It's called
Yes.
Siva
Tapping.
acupressure. So
Oh.
it's all about, there are all these different things we can do physically to
Mhm.
help our body embody the
Yeah.
new energy we want it to, right?
Yes.
The stronger, more affirming, more confident, emboldened energy. So yoga, tai chi, exercise, whatever, physical things,
Mhm.
dance, movement. So that's the physical part. Those are practical physical things that you can start to explore to see how
Mhm.
it helps build and boost your positive energy. In terms
Absolutely.
of the mental,
Mhm.
um, and back to mindset. So I feel like one of the one of the biggest practical things to me in terms of how do I start to go from fear to faith and belief, and to believe in my brilliance, it
Mhm.
goes back to a couple of things. It goes back to, well, what is my brilliance? What am I bringing to the table? I'm having this career transition and I know that's what I want to do, but I'm scared. But then you tell the fear, but wait a minute, I have a goal, I have a vision, I have a dream. And so what are the things that I want to see at the end of this year or in the next year? What do I want to have known that I have done? And what would it take for me to do that? And so it's going back to purpose, back to, okay, I'm doing this not because I'm crazy and whatever. I'm doing this for a reason, a reason. I am feeling led to take this step, whether it's moving out of this career, whether it's elevating up to this level of position, whatever it is. I am walking out my purpose. And to walk out my purpose, I have to embody faith, faith in myself, faith in other people, faith in the process of growth and evolution. And so the practical implication is, I would say, things like journaling,
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was thinking that. Absolutely. Yes.
self-reflection, you
Mhm.
know, and I have to plug it, coaching, getting a coach, because
Yes.
that's what Kashan and I do, y'all. I mean, that's one of the things we do, is to
Yes.
help keep you accountable to your vision, your purpose, and
Mhm.
to get you out of your own way, to get you out of the negative narratives, the inner critics, the self-doubting, as objective third parties who are here for you and your dreams and your vision and your better life. We help you
Yes.
tune down the voices of those negative influences and tune into the call of your heart. And I'll let you say some words there, Keshawn.
That is so good. I'm so thankful for your, yes, I was thinking journaling as a practical application. It's hard for me to parse apart sometimes the difference between mental posture shifting and physical posture shifting because they're so integrated for me.
So connected.
Journaling is a physical exercise for me. Like I'm physically, because I think about the physicality of it. There are, once again, neural connections that we're making between our mind, body, and spirit. And so as we're journaling, we're physically building up muscle to carry out the thing that we are writing.
Yes.
Right. And so that's why it's so powerful. But if we are to do, and then I was like, well, just keep thinking. So journaling, yes, it's a great integrated application to shift your posture from one state to the next because you have goals. Like you said, you want to have things that are in alignment with your purpose. And when I hear the word purpose, I think about values.
Values, yes.
What truly matters to me. And this is challenging work for us, for humans, particularly in places and times in our lives, which is mostly every day for many people, where we're go, go, go. We have commitments, we have responsibilities. We are, I would say, in a society, in environments where we are told to do more so than be. So
we are rewarded for doing more than we are rewarded externally for being. Yes.
Yes. This is being oriented work, but then there is a doing practicality to it. So in addition to that, I say self-affirmation. It's so important. I've re-enlivened my own self-affirmation practice. It is a practice. And then it once again aligns with faith. So faith in my goals, the things that I've set for myself, the dreams that I've set for myself, the places that I envision for myself, the type of relationships I want to have, the roles and responsibilities I want to embody. These are things I have to grow towards. So having a growth-oriented mindset, it's all in that realm of faith because these are ideas, these are dreams, these are affirmations, things that I'm calling out to be that haven't necessarily happened yet. They're not here for me to see, touch.
They haven't manifested, but but they are in the ethos. They're in the ethos. Absolutely. And I love that you said because oh my gosh, we always get goosebumps together. But like, I love what you said you called up because I literally had a client just email me. We've been working together for a while, and I mean over a year, and her vision is so big. It's been so almost hard to like figure out where she goes, what step, but she's getting to a place because she's walking the walk. And she just sent me an email earlier to say that she's making some serious strides and putting some tangible things in place because before it was all in her head. And now it's like she's making out a plan and calling. She used the word, I am believing and calling out that in next few months in fall, I will do this event where like she's calling it into being, knowing that's what she wants, what her goal is, what her heart is leading her to. And the calling out is almost like, I feel like an act of faith to say, it isn't here yet, but I'm going to do the things. I'm going to follow the signs. And that's back to when we call things out. I believe the universe starts to show us signs of whether that call is in alignment. And when we feel and see those signs, we ought to go towards those signs because those signs connect us to things that we wouldn't have even known because that's how things work. And next thing you know, we have a wider, bigger field that we didn't even dream. But because we put the call out and because we followed the signs and the breadcrumbs that the universe is leaving to say, yes, Natalie, yes, Keshawn, you're on the right path, then the vision begins to manifest. Then the goal becomes reality. And so what Keshawn just said about calling it out, it's all back to like sort of journaling, the reflection. And so it's funny because when you were saying journaling is physical, I was like, I don't see it as physical at all. But I heard what you said and I'm like, wow, I guess it depends on how it is for us, because for me, it's all about getting my stuff out of my very brain onto paper. So I'm not overthinking about it. So for me, it's such a mental exercise, but it's also, and back to spiritual. So I want to just make this last point about faith. For me, the way I exercise my faith is that, again, I'm a believer. And so I'm one of the things I'm intentionally doing, because I know I need it, is to surround myself with some like-minded people who have similar beliefs, because that anchors me in my faith. and also to do things to help strengthen my faith. So I'm in a Bible study. I'm in another group where with entrepreneurs who are all Christians, who are, so I'm in community with people, not just like-minded, but I'm intentionally forming some like-minded community with people so that I will have that accountability to my faith, that I'm
Yes.
going to make sure that whatever I do is in alignment with what I truly believe and not get off track. So that whole, like, again, faith over fear,
Mm,
because a lot of this stuff, and I want to speak to entrepreneurship for a second, Keshawn, because
good.
I'm meeting so many women who have this entrepreneurial dream. They're actually doing the thing already, but it's a side thing. And
Yes.
they're still keeping their job. And I'm not portraying any shade, because I
Mm,
went through that and I
me too.
understand the journey of that. But
Yes.
what I'm seeing is that some of them are holding on to that security. And it's back to, what are you valuing more at this point? Like, everybody's journey and path is different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are meant to hold on to their jobs, but
Yes.
oh gosh, my brain is going 100 miles a minute right now. But some are meant to let go. And so one of the points, again, this is an overall point of, to get into the new posture, the new position, the new role, the new venture, we have to let some things go to make room for the new. Sometimes that means, for entrepreneurs, that could mean, I'm not saying for all of y'all, it could mean letting go of the full-time job that's keeping you tethered, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the bandwidth to go off and build your dream. But for some, you have to hold on to that for the money, to get the money to do the dream. So I
Right.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like knowing for yourself, what am I to let go of? For some executives, it's letting go of the notion that I need to have XYZ things checked off before I can get to the next level or whatever. There's so many mindsets,
Mm-hmm.
patterns of behavior that we need to shed to step into the new. And I always see the new in this context, the new as the bigger, the greater, the better for ourselves. But to step into that, we have to shed to embrace some of the new.
Wow. Powerful. Absolutely powerful insights. I agree. But particularly for the entrepreneurial journey, once again, I think about the question, well, what's sometimes, well, we coach leaders, right? And leaders, from my experience, are very focused. We can almost have tunnel vision about our
Yes.
goals, our focus, and what it is that we want to see come to be about ourselves and the environments in the roles and responsibilities that we find ourselves in. And I just ask also the question, so you have the direction that you're moving in, so the momentum that's fueling that, but what's calling towards you? What is available? What have you experienced as you find yourself in different conversations, environments, networking groups, events?
Yes.
What's that call that continually taps you on the shoulder,
Yes.
that is possibly whispering to you? And maybe it's a whisper because there's so many other elements that are in your field of vision and field of
You can't
hearing.
hear it loud enough.
Yes, but it's there. It's something that's
Yes.
telling you that what's pulling you. So we have the direction that we're pushing towards, that we're moving towards. But also, I just invite people to ask, well, what's calling you? What's pulling you? What's
Yes.
calling you forward? What's inviting you to do more, say more, think more deeply about, to see what's there for you, what's underlying that could possibly bloom into something, like
Yeah.
you said, bigger and better than you could have ever imagined.
I love that, and I want to add to that. It's what's calling you, and also, so people might say, well, how would I know what's calling me, right?
Mm.
One of the ways to know what's calling you is when you're in this conversation, this environment, this interaction. How are you feeling?
Yep.
What are you experiencing? Are you feeling energized and excited and like, oh my God, I want more of this? Like, pay attention to what your mind, body, spirit, all of those matter,
Mhm.
is saying to you. It requires us to take a minute to pause and be like, where am I feeling things are in flow? Where is the energy moving in my life? And
Wow.
where is it kind of like stopping and stuttering and clearing out?
Are you calling me out, Natalie? It's like, oh, I'm like,
Oh, girl.
oh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna write that as a note to myself. What's stopping and stuttering and sputtering along? Yeah, message,
Girl.
okay, and what's just fluid and in flow. That is so
Yeah.
good. And that also to me leads me to thinking when I'm thinking about posture shifting, the physicality that I want to embody. Literally, when we first started this conversation, and as soon as you mentioned physical posture, I pulled my shoulders back and I physically felt more oxygen flow to like the back of my head. I
Yes.
physically felt that, right? And so just doing things like that throughout your day, pulling yourself up, pulling your shoulders back, and widening your view, having views of nature,
Yeah.
spending time in the pause. However long and however often you can invite yourself and allow yourself to do that, and then noticing the physical, emotional,
The
physiological changes
shifts.
that
The,
that are happening.
the shifts. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So starting with that self-awareness, labeling it, and potentially taking action from that space, taking
Yes.
action from that space, and comparing what the actions are like from that space, your posture shifted space versus your norm,
Your old default your way of.
default behaviors and
Yes.
patterns. Are your decisions different? Are your choices different? The words you say, the language that you use, how
Yes.
is it different? How is it unique? How is it more in alignment for you and towards those goals and values that you've identified for yourself in this season?
That's a great summary, Keshawn. Like I know I can get so caught up in what I'm saying, and I'm like all in the
It's
head of it.
good.
But I'm
It's
glad that
all
you're summarizing it and making it very like accessible to people.
mm,
I think this is why we partner together because we both bring different things, and so I think this whole idea of you know like it's funny that whole thing about flow. I was when I was just beginning entrepreneurship, which is quite a while ago. I joined this group and I remember it was like not what I expected, but there was one takeaway that I will have never forgotten. I always, it's still relevant today. And the facilitator said, where are things in flow? And when
mhm.
she said that, and she said, follow the flow. And I don't know, for some reason that just struck me at the time. This again, over a decade and one more ago. And it's still something that I pay attention to today in all areas of my life. Where is there movement and energy and excitement and curiosity and awe and all those things, and where is there this frustration and stuckness and
Mm,
and the and this frustration doesn't necessarily mean that those things need to be shed, but
mhm,
it probably means they need to be, you need to shift your perspective
mhm.
around that thing, event, person, whatever it is. So just as we have said a lot about posture shifting in this 30-minute conversation we have had
Yeah.
already, but it's so many things, right? We've talked about the physicality of it. We've talked
Mhm.
about the mental,
Yeah.
intellectual aspect of it.
Mhm.
We touched on the emotional aspect. We didn't go deep there, but we
Mhm.
touched on the emotional aspect of it. We've given you all some practical tools from the physical and mental and emotional to start to embody and practice so that you can start to pay attention to
Pay attention.
where your posture needs to be positioned
Pay attention.
into
Mhm.
as you evolve as a leader, professional, founder, whatever your role.
Mhm.
You shifting is par for the course. Perspective shifting, that posture shifting, that mindset shifting is all part of the journey, and you need to embrace that and find ways and spaces that you can hold yourself accountable to be that observant, curious person in your own journey. And again, I'm going to say you can go to therapy, you can hire a coach, you can join a group. There are many ways to do that. But I highly recommend coaching because
Yes.
what Sean and I do, and of course we have to plug ourselves at some point.
Yeah.
But again, any growth is going to require change, and any change requires a shift in behavior.
I
Hence,
love the idea of shift. Yes. I'm sorry.
doing it.
With every time, particularly shift versus shed or shifting and shedding.
Mm,
So
mm,
for me, the idea of shedding, I do feel just the human in me, like I am human, okay? I can feel
mm.
a grieving with when it comes to shedding layers. I know it's important as a leader. It's something I do often, and I think of spiritual symbolism when it comes
Yes.
to, so how certain animals shed their skin or they change their coat for the winter. They have a different coat in the winter versus the summer, right? So I have different things that are meaningful to me, the
Yes.
representations throughout nature, maybe like snakes, rabbits,
But
bunnies.
my cat, I gotta say,
Yeah, yeah,
literally, oh my God, because this happened yesterday, and I was like, Mike, so every cat, every animal usually sheds some of their fur in the summer. I have
yeah,
a short hair cat, and I
yes,
was using this comb to comb it, and I'm like, oh, nothing's happening. But she started throwing up and seeing she had fur balls. I'm like, wait. So yesterday I found this other tool I had. You will not believe how much fur came out of that cat. I'm like, my
yes,
cat was shedding, and
yes.
she thought that
It's
she
the
was
season
eating.
for shedding. Yes.
And I was like, bad mommy, Natalie, you were bad mommy because you weren't grooming your cat properly. And
Mm,
Keshawn, the amount of fur. So, oh my God, I'm so glad you used the symbolism of
yes.
everything in life has a cycle, and part of
Yes.
the cycle is shedding.
It is. It
Yes,
is.
but it's
And then
hard to do
it is,
intentionally.
it is, and that's why we need support. We need community to do it. It's wonderful to have a coach and to have accountability of a wisdom keeper for you, someone who has done it themselves, who has supported others in doing that, can give you that assurity, can help to quell that uncertainty and that fear that comes up with, am I doing it right or am I making the best decisions for myself? A coach will help to show you your blind spots and really hold up a mirror to show you everything that, yes, you're doing well, what you should enhance, what you should continue to do, and what you should think about trying. And it's literally coming from you, words that you're giving the
Yes,
coach.
it's not about the coach.
Reflecting that
The
back
coach.
to you. Yes,
It's
yes.
never about the coach. It's always
Right.
about
It's
what
about
the
you. It's
coach
all
is
you.
about you.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
The coach is a vessel for
Mm,
you to become and do the things that you have put into that container that were your intention. So as coach, I see myself as I call myself a guide, a
yes,
partner. I use
yes.
those words too
Me too.
interchangeably because those are
Mhm.
all championer. All it's
Yes,
always about the client. We uphold you all, and it's our fulfillment to see you guys
yes,
blossom, flourish, and thrive. It
yes.
brings us
It's the
the
best. I just
greatest
got chills
joy.
just thinking about that. Just
That's
thinking
why we
about the
do it.
wins of my
That's why
clients.
we do it. It's like,
That
oh
is.
my God, okay, so oh my God. So we at time as usual.
Well, I did want to say one other thing.
Yes,
So shift versus shed. So we
yes.
talked about the seasonality, the nature, the natural aspects of shedding. Shifting to me is so gentle. It's a gentle experience. When I
Mm,
think about having different points on a map, if you're going due north, but if you shift it 1 degree northwest, you will end up at different points on the map, right?
yes,
Over time. So
yes.
identify my client introduced this information or this language to me, her North Star. What is
Mm.
your North Star? We identify what that is and shift towards it gently. It doesn't have to be a major crashing like event where you feel like your life is falling apart. It doesn't always have to be
It
that.
doesn't always have to. So I think you're making a great point. I love that you brought
Yes,
up. I can't believe we have time, but I want to say this though. Sometimes if we don't shift enough over time, what is going to be required is the shed.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that shifting is the gentle way, but some of us don't realize we should have been shifting for how many years and we didn't do it. And so guess
Yes,
what happens?
yes,
Life puts us in a situation
always.
where we will be forced to shed. And yes,
Mm,
the shedding is harder, it's more painful,
mm,
but at the other side of that shed is a whole new landscape, y'all. So
yes,
don't see the shed as a bad thing. This is
mm,
also part of the entrepreneurial journey and the
yes,
journey to evolution as an executive. Sometimes there'll be hard times, difficult. I've been through many of them, still go through them. We all do. But it's how your posture, your mental posture is around those events that determine the outcome. And so even if you're at a point in your journey where life has somehow come together where you are forced to shed, no, one, you don't have to shed alone.
no, you
And
don't.
two, there is so much promise on the other side of the shed.
Ooh, yes, it's all good. It's all good. In the comments right now, I'm sharing some links to some resources from each of us, from Natalie and myself. Natalie's book, you can buy it. It's Your Time to Shine, Girl. And from my membership experience at Neurosavvy Leadership. So there's some membership choices for you if you're interested in having that kind of support that we're talking about to help you with your shift or your shed, to help you reach your North Star, to shift your posture. We're available and ready to help you with that.
Sorry.
I did want to read.
I was trying to put my. I was forget to have my my leadership assessment here, which is
Oh,
so
so
part of this
good. Yes.
conversation. But
Yes.
it's like I have my 2 screens today, so I'm like, oh God, how do I grab it in a way that's quick enough right now?
Take your time. I
I
wanted to.
know I'm so bad at this.
That's fine. Take your time. It's okay.
I can't find the mouse. Okay, that's what's happening.
You
Come
can
on.
also just, if you want to, just take your
I
time.
got it. Hold on, give
You
me
got
a
it. Okay,
second.
good.
Yeah.
So while you're finding that,
Just
Natalie, I wanted to acknowledge something that a LinkedIn user said as they were watching our live. Thank you for joining us. It's talked about self-awareness. Yes, self-awareness and the power of the pause. Sometimes we need others to help us see ourselves. Period.
amen.
Sometimes,
Amen.
all the time. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So
Thank
thank
you
you.
all. Yes, thank you for
Yes.
joining us. Those of you who were here live, and those of you who will be listening to this on YouTube, the playback on LinkedIn and YouTube or Facebook. We're so happy you are listening, and we just can't wait to hear your feedback as we're going to be doing this and having a surprise coming up soon that we hope you all will get all into as well.
Thank you all so much. We'll join you again on a Tuesday in the future in 2 weeks to talk about another a new leadership playbook topic. But we want your feedback. If there's something you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know and we'll make it happen. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.